Hello and welcome to this video on Revsportz. I'm Snehasis Mukherjee and obviously Trisha has joined me and we're joining from you straight from Manchester. Yes. And the latest update that we're getting.
I like how the entire day you have been talking about visiting Manchester United, you have been taking pictures, and then now, right when you have to say this in the video, you're looking at me whether we are at Manchester or not. Good.
Yes. Okay, but the main factor is that India have announced the replacement of Shreyanka Patil. So now it's official that Shreyanka Patil injury is quite serious and she is out of the remainder of the ICC Women's T20 World Cup. And the announcement, not surprising for both of us, but I think surprising for many of us, many of people. Maybe Prema Rawat, the leg spinner, the
Very
young,
good option.
yeah, very good option. The young leg spinner has been named the replacement, and I think Trisha and me have been advocating for her. I think for the last 2 years, even before the 2025 ODI World Cup, when we saw that there is no leg spinner for the home World Cup, we were quite surprised because we are thinking of taking someone like Prema Rawat in that squad. But eventually now she has got the call up to the senior team. It's very pleasing for both of us. So a big call to Trisha, and I think for Prema it's a great opportunity.
The right call.
The right call.
That's the bigger thing. I think, Prema Rawat should have been in the first squad itself, but at least, better late than never. Again, when we say the right call, do not judge her by her performances because understand she is here in England for, I think, naming her as a replacement. I don't know how much was it directly on the basis of performance because if you have to think of it that way, she was not even there in the South Africa tour. I think it has got a lot to do with the fact that India needed a spin bowling all-rounder and Prema Rawat was already in England because of the India A tour. So it was easier to, make her join the squad, which is fine by me. But do not judge, do not write out or write in Prema Rawat by her performance because it is not going to be easy for her. It's one thing that you're playing India A. Remember in WPL also she got I think 1 or 2 games, did not even get to bowl much, and now suddenly it's the World Cup and look at the games she might get to play. I don't know if she will play against South Africa, but she might, considering the fact that South Africa does have a problem against slower bowling, spin bowling. There are high chances Prema might get in there. So the matches I'm just saying group stage matches. The group stage matches you are likely to, Prema is likely to play is South Africa, Bangladesh and Australia. Ideally, in my head, I feel that she'll be playing Bangladesh and Australia, probably not South Africa. But I wouldn't mind if she's put in straight up and she plays against South Africa as well.
Yes, absolutely. And another thing that works for India, I think, with Prema's inclusion is the variety of spin.
Variety of spin, she bats better than Shrianka, no doubt about that. So that longish tail that was happening. Also, what it does is now with Arundhati not in form, you can get that cushion of batting with Prema Rawat being there. And Prema is also a good fielder. So I think, and this is something we have been repeatedly saying, Snehasis, that Prema Rawat should have been there, Prema Rawat should have been there. And there you go, Prema Rawat is there.
Yes, absolutely. So
Not the way we would have wanted.
Yes, it's a very unfortunate way, where the way she made a call up. She got a call up to the senior team, but yes, but it is what it is. So let's see how many games she gets. But yeah.
Yes, let's see how many games she gets. And, this we are doing middle of the night of UK from our apartment. Our apartment means we haven't bought it. We are staying in it just. But we have discussed in details of how this injury can impact someone like Shriyanka's mental health, somebody who's as young as her, going through this over and over again. So the first part of the video, as we said, is news, where you get to know that Prema Rawat actually has, before we toss it to the Shriyanka part, Prema Rawat actually played some match-winning innings along with Radha Yadav in the India A team against Australia A in Australia. So she would be pretty, like for example, I'm sure she has bowled to Nadine de Klerk in the nets, RCB play. So she would have faced Lauren Bell
and
in the nets.
Boundary for RCB.
And that boundary for RCB.
Mumbai.
Yes, she's a calm and composed player, but she's also young at an international stage. So let's not be harsh, but also it's we are super excited for Prema Rawat, let's put it that way, and we are super heartbroken for Shreyanka Patil. But let's hope the way Shafali used the opportunity that she was presented with because of Pratika's injury. Again, nobody wishes that these opportunities come this way, but it is what it is. Let's hope that Prema Rawat uses this opportunity, if not by taking wickets, if not by contributing, at least impressing the captain and the coach in the nets so that she gets a longer rope.
Yes. So yes. Now.
And kudos to Amita Sharma and the selection team.
Yes.
When we back them, we should congratulate them
Yes,
as well.
absolutely. I think kudos to the selection team because obviously, for Prema Rawat to be in England, obviously that helped the cause. But still, if you ask both of us, I think she has enough performance in her belt to get this call up to the senior setup, at least to get a chance. We are not saying that she will come up and produce some excellent performances. That cannot happen.
That we will see.
Yeah, that only time will tell. Okay, but for a young talent, the way she has performed for India A in a consistent manner, I think she deserves the call, and now it's a big call for her. So let's see how many games she gets. But as of now, you can just continue to watching the video and please have a look on how we discuss on the Shriyanka's injury and how that can impact her going forward. Thank you.
Shriyanka with that injury, from what we are getting to know, from whatever, she's all but ruled out of the World Cup. She did come to Manchester with the team. She hasn't walked, and the news that we are getting currently is she's all but ruled out of the World Cup. Before even I talk about replacement, I read your article yesterday and bang on point, and guys, I know a lot of you have your own opinions about whose fans we are or who we support, who we hate, who we love. I mean, big words that you guys keep using. But at the end of the day, somebody who has worked hard, somebody like Shriyanka, again, 6 months later, she comes back. We will criticize if she doesn't do well. That nobody is stopping. But the truth is, I know how it feels to be ruled out because of an injury. I know how an ankle injury can be so difficult to come back from. I mean, you all do. There are a lot of people who take a dig at my weight, but has got a lot to do with medicines that I had to take during my ankle injury. Anyway, that's not the point here. The point is huge blow to the Indian team, but a bigger blow to a young kid's career. Honestly, we have spoken about this for someone like Sophie Molyneux. And it has not really bothered us because, to be very honest, Sophie Molyneux is from Australia. So while, yes, as a cricketer, we do have empathy for her, but when it's someone of your own, and Shriyanka is our own, right? And when I say our own, no, she's not friends with us. We are not paid to do her PR or anything of that sort. But she's from our country. We have seen her making a comeback. We have seen her trying, getting that comeback in her name. And yesterday, anyway, I was very upset when that injury happened because the injury itself looked so difficult to get back from. But your first reactions, the World Cup is most likely over for Shriyanka.
Yes, I think, when that thing happened and the stretcher came out eventually, I think that time only we discussed that it's looked like it's done and dusted for her. And so unfortunate, as you mentioned, for a 23 or 24-year-old, for her already suffering a big injury layoff for 13-14 months, and the way she managed to make a comeback, first playing that WCPL, doing so well there, winning the title, if I'm not wrong, for Barbados Royals, and then went on to play, for RCB in WPL, did so well there also, winning the title again, and ultimately, making a comeback in the Indian setup because she was very close to making a comeback, I think, before the 2025 ODI World Cup.
Yes.
But unfortunately, again, that injury happened. I think she was named in the India A setup.
Even 2024 World Cup, she was.
Yeah, but she played that World Cup. She got an injury, but she played that World Cup. She did decent enough. But before that 2025 ODI World Cup, I think she was named in the India A setup.
Yes.
That traveled to, I think, England.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she got injured and she didn't play that tour, and eventually she didn't got the chance to prove that she is fit enough for the ODI World Cup. So yeah, I think the way she finally made a comeback for India, she did so well in South Africa, Australia, and even in England series, and she even started so well in the world, in the T20 World Cup also. Yes, maybe the wicket column will not show that, but they see the economy and the kind of phases where she bowled.
World Cup.
Yes, yeah, because yeah,
T20 World Cup only 2 matches.
yes, only
And
two
in the
matches.
second match, she bowled just one ball.
Exactly. So considering the impact that she has managed to make for India, along with Sri Charani, two consistent bowlers for you. So it will be a big setback for India, no doubt about that. For Captain Harmanpreet Kaur to not have an informed option like Shreyanka Patil, going into the South Africa and other big clashes. So let's see how they manage to do that. Which player will come into the play 11, but when it comes to Shreyanka Patil, I think it's a big pain for her. I think the facial expression were quite evident that how painful it was for her, and somehow I think
From the news that we are getting,
Yes.
it's all but over.
all but over. And I think in her mind, she also straight knew. I think the dream of playing that World Cup for India after making a comeback, somewhere I think it has gone now.
Snehasis, the bigger deal here is probably a lot of people now talk about it or don't. I don't know. I mean, also there's the whole thing. No, she makes reels and all this. So a lot of people talk about her not being serious about cricket, this and that. She has also spoken about depression, the whole mental health around it. First things first. This show was about, can Shrianka Patil play against South Africa? Shrianka Patil is all but not going to play the rest of the World Cup. But in general, talking about the other part, the mental health part, it's not easy that you're making a comeback, you're out of it, you're making a comeback, and again you're out of it. And you're not out of it because you're out of form, because then that makes it very clear, that you're out of form, you are being dropped. So all you got to do is you have to work on yourself, on your variation or something. But this time, and I'm telling you, as someone who has faced this, the whole journey of starting from zero, and when I say starting from zero, it does not mean that you're going to play school level cricket or something. You play the level of cricket you're playing, but think of this, you have to start with walking.
Your growth gets stuck every time.
Absolutely. No, I'm saying forget about cricket for a second. Think of normal life also. She has to first start walking.
Yes.
Then she has to start the
Jogging
whole
and
jogging, pressure on the foot. There is such a long way. And today, if you remember, I had covered that Yastika press conference where Yastika said that there were days when there was no visible, again, guys, pundits, that was ACL, this is ankle ligament, we are aware. Just saying about injuries, yeah. There are days when your recovery doesn't physically show. And it is not possible in an ankle injury to show development every day, recovery every day. And as you said, the scare of, in a career, you being left behind and the entire world moving forward.
Yes, and I think not only in cricket field, I think in every field, of your life. I think when you see that, for some unfortunate reason, you are stuck at certain point, and your, colleagues are doing so well, they are progressing well. Doesn't matter at what pace they are progressing. Ultimately, they are progressing, but you are stuck at that point because of some unfortunate injury or something else. So I think it is, somewhere it's very scary. It happens with everyone. It can happen with me. It can happen with you, and it can happen with anyone. So I think that is the most scariest part, because for someone like Shreyanka, again, she needs to go with the whole rehab procedure and everything. Then she needs to start the bowling, then the batting, the all round everything and all. So again, she needs to start from the zero, and that is the most scary part.
And she has to recalibrate everything, which is something that a lot of people probably don't take into account. She probably has to recalibrate her own whole action. And this is all probably, I don't know the exact nature of her injury or exactly what happens once she comes back. How much pressure can she put on her ankle, depending on that changes her action. If it changes her action, does she get this much done? There are so many questions. The rhythm can get affected. Now think of this. You and me, who are not even part of this whole injury, but we are seeing it from outside, we have so many questions going on in our mind. Think of that 24-year-old girl. She's sitting there probably in a stretcher, 4,000 things going around her. But I know you want to say something. You say that, and the other thing that you also answer for me is how important. Like we know how Arundhati, Smriti Mandana rallied around Jemima Rodriguez in the 2025 World Cup. How important will that rallying around be for Shriyanka as well at this very point?
Yes, absolutely. I think this is a kind of time when you need your loved ones.
Yeah.
Your close ones who care for you with things, who always things good for you. I think that is where the teammates can come into play. Obviously, the family members will be there. There is no doubt about that. And I think I just wanted to point it out. See, I think the previous injury already costed her that maybe the ODI World Cup. Oh, ODI World Cup crown. She could have been part of that team. She could have won that title, with the team on home soil. But she didn't get that opportunity because of the injury. And if I'm not wrong, I got to know, I think, from an interview of Shreyanka Patil that maybe after winning the World Cup title, I think Shreyanka called the team. I think Smriti and everyone, and she told that congratulations, guys, you guys have done it. And the best part that I think Smriti and Jemima, everyone, I think said to her that this title is as much as yours also. So I think that is what you need from your teammates, and she said that it made me emotional at that point. That's okay, not despite not being there, the way they greeted her and the way they treated her. I think she liked that obviously, and that was a very emotional moment for her. So I think as a teammate, I think that is where someone like Smriti Mandana, Jemima Rodriguez, Arundhati Reddy, the bunch of group that we always
Radha
see,
Yadav.
Radha Yadav, maybe someone like Shefali Verma also.
Yes.
I think the bunch of group that we always see, Shrianka Patil, make hanging out with even in the practice sessions on and off the field. So I think that is where they will definitely come into play. And obviously the family one, as I mentioned earlier,
BCCI, of
the
course.
BCCI. I think BCCI have been tremendous for the last 2-3
And
weeks.
Yastika has said that. Yastika has been quite vocal about the fact that BCCI stood by her completely when she was recovering. How COE would be, and even the coaching staff, the players called her, spoke to her. I don't want to say this, probably this is not the best note to end this show on. I know a lot of people might misconstrue this, but the truth is, with all friends around, with all family around, with all support around, unfortunately, the injury is still something that she has to go through. But before we end the show, the confirmation is Shriyanka Patil is out of the World Cup. So she's definitely not taking part in the South Africa match or any matches forward. We do not know if is the wrong word. We do not know who exactly is being flown in as replacement, but definitely can tell you, we have reported this earlier as well, that Sneh Rana is right now probably in the top of the list because we are going for a spin bowling all-rounder, but we still have to see. It's extremely unfortunate. And it's extremely unfortunate that we are breaking that news to you and that too right early in the morning in India. But it is what it is. An important game in Manchester. We needed Shriyanka.
Yeah.
We needed Shriyanka for those death overs. But all we can say is, Shriyanka, I think as Indian supporters, we are there with you. We are there for you. All the best and hope you recover soon. Thank you, guys.